Hello and welcome to this video tutorial on Tkinter in Python. So Tkinter is a built-in Python module used for creating GUI, so graphical user interface applications. In this tutorial we'll learn how to create a basic GUI application using Tkinter, and we will try and pull all this together in making a GUI calculator. So the first thing is we need to actually create a file. So if we go to File, New Window, no sorry, wrong thing, File, New File, and I'm going to select a Python file, and I'm going to save it as, probably save it on my desktop, and I'm going to save it as Tkinter calculator, because eventually we are going to make that. So I've got my Python file sorted. First thing is we need to import a library called Tkinter, and I'm going to import it as TK. Now Tkinter comes standard, and it is basically how we are going to start creating. There are other libraries. There is a Python Qt, for example, which we probably will have a look at, but for now we're just going to stick with Python Tkinter. So now we've done this, we need to create a window for our GUI application. So we need to create the thing that pops up. So I'm going to do root equals tk dot tk. Now bear in mind that's a big capital T and a little k, a small k. Don't get that mixed up. And then root dot main loop. And this is the bit that will pack it all together and say, congratulations, you have got a file. So the tk function creates a new window for our GUI application, and the main loop function is used to run the event loop. So this will display an empty window on the screen. So let's try. So I'm going to run Python in terminal file. There we go, and it has brought up a blank window for me. So let's add some widgets, because this is kind of boring. So let's add a few widgets. So in Python, things like text fields, labels, buttons, that kind of thing, they are called widgets. So these are the building blocks of a GUI application. So let's add a label first of all. So you want to be doing everything inside. So everything has to happen before that root main loop, otherwise it won't appear. So label, if I can spell right, label equals tk dot label, capital L, every time. And I want to link it to my root, so I want it to be part of my window, and I want it to have the text of hello Tkinter, like that. Then I want a button, and I want to say that that's a tk dot button, and I want it to be linked to the root, and I want it to have the text of click me, like that. And then finally let's have an entry, and I'm going to set that to be equal to tk dot entry, and I'm going to set that to be the value of root. So spelling mistake. So what's happening here is we have identified that we want a label. We have asked it that it's the type of a label. So this is the variable, that's the type. We've bound it to the root, so it will show up in our window, and we've given it the value text of hello Tkinter. Same thing for the button. We've said that it's a button, and we've bound it to the value of buttons, so that's our variable. We've added it to the root, so it'll show up in the window. We'll give it the text of click me. And the same with entry, we've done the same thing, created a variable, set it's the value of an entry, and we've logged it to root. So now we need to pack them, we need to make them show. So it's okay having these, but if we run this at the moment, nothing's going to come up. Even though we've written it, nothing's going to show, because we need to place it in the window. So the way we do that is we do label.pack, can't spell, label dot pack, button dot pack, and also entry dot pack. Now if we rerun this, so this label will create this code will create a label, it'll create a button, and it will create an entry box and add them to the window using the pack function. The label function is used to create a label with the text hello Tkinter, and the button function is used to create a button with the text click me. So let's see what happens. Here we go. Oops, it's a very small window. I can't move it across. I'm just going to make it slightly bigger so I can move it. There we go. So we have a label that says hello Tkinter. we have a button that says click me, and we have an entry that's a text box that says entry, and it's bound to the root. So let's add some functionality to our button. So we're going to create a function that will be called when the button is clicked. So I always put my functions above because it happens in a logical order. So if you actually call your button, a command for your button that's here, but you've actually declared the function down here, you're declaring it or calling it before you've declared it. So we're going to start up here, and I'm going to go def, which is defining a function, and I'm going to call it button click. So when the button is clicked, I want text equals, I want to grab whatever is in the text entry dot get, and I want to create a label or change the label so that it says whatever is in there. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is in my button, yeah, so then what we'll do, there's two ways to do it. I'm going to do it, I'll do it here. Button dot config command equals button underscore click, like that. Now I think that's going to cause a problem because we're actually using it before we've declared it. So let's try it there. Let's get rid of some of this and let's see what happens. Now again, it's actually tiny, so I'm going to bring it across. So if I put hello and click me, so label object config, I've done a spelling mistake. Config, where would I have done it there? Spelling error. Try again. Again, it's tiny, so I'm just going to make it slightly bigger so that I can drag it across. Let's make it bigger there as well. Let's try again. Click me changes the label to hello. So this code defines a function called button click, which is this function here. It gets the text from the entry box, which we entered into here, which is down here, entry box. And it updates the text of the label using the config function. So the button function is then configured, so that's this section here, is then configured to call this function when it is clicked using the command parameter. So that's pretty much a whistle-stop tour. So you've got a basic understanding of GUI applications using Tkinter. You can customize it further by adding more widgets, changing the properties, changing the colors. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to try and see if we can make a calculator using the Tkinter we've already learned. So again, Tkinter is standard GUI library. It comes already installed. So we're going to do a couple of things. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up the environment. So we're going to make sure we've got the latest version of Python, which you should already have in there anyway. And we are going to import the libraries that we need, such as Tkinter. Then we're going to create the GUI elements. So we're going to create the buttons and we're going to create the entry text boxes. And then we're going to create the functions. And then finally, we're going to pull everything together and we are actually going to create a calculator. So let's make a start then. So I am going to close this off. I am going to delete all of that because we will start again. So I am going to import Tkinter as tk, like that. Then I am going to do root.mainLoop. Before I do that, I'm going to do root equals tk.tk, and then I'm going to do root.mainLoop, like that. So first things first, I know that I want the user to basically, I know I want the user to enter some numbers, but before we do that, I want a title. I need the user to know what they're going to do. So let's do root.title equal, no, we won't do an equals. Can't even spell. Title, and then we'll do calculator, just like that. So what that means is when we hit Python run, it brings up calculator as our title in there. So that's step one. The next thing is we need them to enter some numbers. So we're going to go num1 equals, and we're going to create an entry. So tk.entry, and I am going to set it to root. And this time I'm going to give it a width. So I'm going to specify how wide it's going to be, and I'm going to make it 10. Then I'm going to pack that so it appears on my screen, num1.pack, and I'm going to set it to side, and I want it to be on the left hand side. So let's just see what that looks like. There we go. I'll make it bigger and I'll drag it across. So we've got an entry, it's 10 pixels wide and it's put to the side. So the next thing we need to do is we're going to do the exact same thing, but this time we need number 2. So I'm lazy, I'm going to copy it the same. And I'm going to change that to num2 and that to num2. And I'm going to pack it to the side again. And then I want to add a button. So this time I'm going to add, how am I going to do this? I'll do it this way. btn underscore add. So we're going to have an add button equals tk button root, and then I forgot my dot. And then we're going to do text equals, we're just going to do the plus sign like that because we're going to have the plus sign in there for us. And I'm going to leave that bit for now, and then I'm going to put btn underscore add dot pack. Where do I want to put this time? I think I'm going to put it to the left as well. So we will put side equals tk dot left. And then I'm going to copy this because we're going to add some more buttons. So we've got an add button, but this time I need a subtract. And I'm going to do the same here. Subtract. I can spell it. And then am I going to stick it on, am I going to keep it on the left? Yeah, I'm going to keep it on the left. Let's do the same for multiply. So btk multiply. Obviously, sorry, I forgot to change that. So that one's a subtract. This one is the multiply. And I'm going to copy it because I'm lazy. There we go. And then the last one, again, sorry. The last one is the divide. So btn underscore divide, copy that, paste it there, change that to the divide. So let's see what that does. Let's run it, see what happens. Here we go. So this is what this looks like right now. Entry 1, entry 2, we've got our buttons. So the next thing we need to do is we need a label that actually shows the result. So I'm going to go LBL underscore result, and I'm going to set that to be a tk dot label, and then I'm going to ask that to be rooted. So I'm going to use root so it shows up. Text equals, let's do it with result like that, and then close it off, and then we will do LBL result dot pack, and I'm going to do it side equals tk dot left. Again, let's have a look what that looks like. Have I got one running? I think I do. Yep, I have one running. Close it off. Loaded it back up for me again, and then it looks like that. So they're all on the left. So now what we need to do is we actually need to do the maths. So remember in the calculator in previous videos, we actually started making functions. So we're going to do the exact same thing. So right up here, I'm going to create a function for add. So def add, and I'm going to get the result. So result equals, change it to a float data type, and I want to get the value of what is being entered into num1. Like that, and I'm going to add to that the value of float num2 dot get, like that. And then I want to show this in a label, so LBL dot LBL result dot config, and I'm going to do text equals result like that, and then I'm going to do some formatting on strings here. So I'm going to do a percentage, a dot, and a 2f, And then I'm going to do close question speech marks, and then I'm going to do percentage result, like that. And then what I'm going to do is, because I am very lazy, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it, and this time it's going to be subtract, and I'm going to do the same thing again, but this time instead of it being a plus, it's going to be a minus. And then I'm going to copy it again, paste it down, and it's going to be multiply, and instead of a minus, it's going to be the star symbol. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing again, and it's going to be divide, and instead of that symbol, it's going to be that symbol. Now this is all going to work, but the thing is we haven't connected our buttons together. So what's happening at the moment, if we do this and we put 45 5 plus, nothing's happening because we've not connected our buttons together. So the way we do this is we use a command. So we only need to worry about the buttons. So this one is going to be command equals, and we're on the add, so this is going to be add, just like that, and it recognises the function straight away. Same on here, command equals, and I think this one is subtract, yeah, subtract, and it recognises it again, comma, command equals, and this one is multiply, and then again, and this one is divide, which is there. Now if we rerun this again, let me just check I've not got one open. Run Python file in terminal. It looks like this. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Plus result is 61. Can we override it? Perfect. What if we did that? Multiplied. Perfect. Did that and divide. Perfect. So it's a very basic GUI calculator. But what if we changed the colours and the fonts? Let's have a go. See if we can change the colours. So what if I want my background colour of my buttons to be, I don't know, let's choose a hex value. Actually, we'll do words first. So I do BG like that, and then I'm going to do equals, let's do blue, like that, and then I'm just going to put a comma there, save it, let's run it. This is what's happened. So it's changed my background colour to blue. Don't really like that colour. Okay, let's, so I'm going to get the internet up, and just 1 second, let's get the internet up, and I'm going to do hex colour values. I'm just going to pick the first one that comes out and go for that, why not? I'm going to pick, I don't know, see what we get. It's always going to be a pink for me. Oh, that one. So I'm going to copy that hex colour, go back to my code, and where I've written blue, I'm going to paste in the full hex colour. And I'm going to run my Python file, and this time we've got that nice pink that we chose. So I'm going to do it for all of them. So I'm going to copy this, like that, save it, and I'm going to run it again. And this time I've got all of my colours. Now I am going to change the for colour of my result label here. So I'm going to do, and I think if I'm right, it's FG equals, and then I'm going to change it to, let's pick another colour. Let me pick, should we pick it like a dark purplish colour? Let's try that one. And then I'm going to paste that into there. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to run my Python file. And it's very difficult to see, but it has changed colour. I'm going to choose a different colour, a brighter colour. Let's go for like a green or something that's really, let's go for that orange. You can really tell that that's changed. So I'm going to close it off. I'm going to change that. Get rid of that double hash. Save, and I'm going to run it. And now you can see that it has actually changed colour. And I can do that for my background too. So all I need to do is I can copy this, and I'm going to paste it in there. Always make sure your command is at the end. it makes it so that that's the last thing. It's good practice. And if we save that and we run it, you can see that my actual colours, how my buttons have now changed to orange, which is a really dark colour. So I'm just going to go back to here and I'm going to change it to maybe a dark purple or something. We'll go with something like that. And close it off. Put them in. Believe that one it is. Click save and run Python file. What have I got? Extra options. Where have I put this? We have an error, invalid colour name. Have I missed something out? I've probably missed some of the hex value off. No, it's just invalid. Let's pick another one. Let's try that. Maybe it's the spaces. Let's try that. Invalid colour name. So it doesn't like that one, but it'll accept that one. I'll take it. There we go. Just close these down because there's a couple that come up as we've been hitting it. Just keep closing them until they're gone and we'll restart it. There we go. So we've got our horrendous colours now. What about the background colour of the window? Let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look then. So I'm going to close it off. Now, where we've created our root here, I am going to see if we can change the background colour. So I think this is how we do it. Root dot configure pg equals, let's change it to pink. Like that. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Background colour is now pink. So changing fonts gets harder. So we're not going to cover changing fonts in this one. But that is a basic Python GUI tutorial. Thanks for watching. Happy coding.